So I walk into an ice cream shop in Cincinnati to enjoy 2 scoops of cotton candy ice cream in a waffle cone, and I saw the in-person interview questions at work. Now you might be asking, seriously? 2 scoops of cotton candy ice cream in a waffle cone with sprinkles on top? Yes, I'm just that kind of guy. I know I'm a grown man, and yes, cotton candy sprinkles is my preference. But while we were there waiting in line, I noticed the manager of the shop come from behind the counter and sit with a lady who had just walked in wearing workout gear and a hat. My first assumption is that it was a friend or family member just coming in to say hello. As the 2 sat down, the manager pulled out a piece of paper and began awkwardly asking questions like, so what experience do you have? What jobs have you had before? What do you think you would like about working here? I did not time their conversation, and I eventually realized, oh my gosh, this is a job interview. And there is no way it lasted longer than 2 minutes. It was noticeably brief, and the conversation was vanilla. Sorry, it was a dad joke moment, and I had to put it in there. The interaction that I saw will most likely, at least from me, if not from them, the 2 people that were part of it as well, be chalked up as a dynamic waste of time for all involved. In-person interviews tend to either be too robotic and templated or too meandering and wasteful. The good news is there is a better way. The business owners that tend to experience less chaos are the owners who have mapped out purposeful, sustained hiring process that walks potential candidates through the various attributes of the business. And the exposure as they walk them and lead them through those different attributes will either create a desire or a lack of desire. So I want you to think about this. Imagine being guided personally throughout the different worlds or the sections of the Magic Kingdom at Disney. So you've got a one-on-one private tour. You're not riding rides. You're just looking around and somebody's walking you by the hand through the entire park. You don't ride the rides, but you've taken in the sights. You've seen the movement. You've felt the electricity. And at the end of the tour, you either love Disney or you don't love Disney. But at least you got a picture of what it looked like. Most in-person interviews are akin to not being walked through the park at Disney, but instead showing someone a billboard about Disney and then asking them if they're ready to commit their lives to the cause based on a crafted pass-by advertisement. That's what a lot of interviews are. But in order to earn the right to have a great live in-person interview, you must first have gone through the hard work of the first sections of your entire hiring process that we talk about. Obviously, you've got to understand the gap in your business and write the role to fill that gap. Then you've got to budget for that new role. Then, of course, you've got to have your written vision, mission, and values. That's what you walk them through. That's akin to walking them through the different worlds at Disney. You've got to draft out your org chart, or your organizational layout, and then initiating a phone call with a candidate before bringing them in. So we don't make our in-person interview the first step. It's down the line. Because if you skip those steps, you're setting yourself and your candidate up for a billboard-style job interview. Instead of walking them through the actual layout, you just show them a billboard. Once it's time to bring the person in face-to-face or via video conference, if they're going to be working remotely, you've got to resist the urge to talk about the actual job role. Yes, I said that correctly. Don't talk about the job role yet. You'll get to that downstream. But right now, you'll focus on sharing the things that matter most. Like, for instance, where you're headed, or also why you do, what we call the mission, or how your business makes decisions, those value things. They need to understand those things, because if they don't like that, then it doesn't matter what the job is or how much they'll make in the job. So you sit down with your candidate and you hand them a written copy of your vision, of your mission, of your values, and you begin to walk through each one, pausing periodically to see what questions or thoughts they might have. That's a more natural walk through the culture of your business. In the first in-person interview, you will discuss only the culture of your business. Why? Well, because it's of no value to discuss the role or compensation or anything else if you come to find out that the candidate has no desire to head into the direction that you're going. At Business on Purpose, we do things a certain way with certain elements. Why would we share the details of our involvement in Kogi State, Nigeria, if we come to determine that our candidate would actually prefer to travel to Sarasota, Florida? So we do things a certain way with certain elements, and it can feel invasive even though our entire team is remote. We are in each other's business and are obsessed with predictability and consistency through the tools that we have built and expect each other to use. Many businesses have the mindset of get the work done however you get it done. We do not have that. For some, that does not sit well. For others, they thrive in it. A client of ours, a mid-level architecture firm in the southern United States, came with the idea of only discussing culture in the first in-person interview. And once complete, the candidate that they were talking to looked across the table shocked and simply said, "Oh my gosh, that helps so much." So as you, the employer, lead the way, you set the tone. This is the culture that you and your team are building, and it must be both protected and shared with thoughtfulness and preparation. So during the phone interview, it will be best to let the candidate know the entire flow of your hiring process. Literally walk them through and say, hey, this is a 6-week process or whatever that will usually take 3 to 6 weeks to complete over those 6 steps. After a casual phone interview where we start to learn about your background, we will then invite you to an in-person live interview. And so you're walking them through the steps of the hiring process. The more structured you are in the hiring process, the more confidence you will breed into your candidate as to what they're signing up for or what they're not signing up for. You will consistently fight the urge to want to move fast to hire someone because you need their help. We have to remember this. Relationships rarely benefit from hasty starts. Relationships rarely benefit from hasty starts. Instead, your first in-person interview is about sharing culture and then evaluating if that person matches the right ingredient profile of the culture that you're growing. Do you have a healthy business? Are you a healthy business owner? You can take the quiz right now. Just go to mybusinessonpurpose.com/healthy for the Healthy Owner Business Assessment. It's a beautifully designed assessment to walk you through different categories like vision, mission, values, clarity, and implementation. Also, the dynamics of your team, personality, and a variety of other general categories to help give you a score of the health of your business. Once complete, you'll have the range of your score along with an explanation video to help you understand some next steps into being liberated from the chaos of working on your business. So go to mybusinessonpurpose.com/healthy to take the assessment right now.